So second meet of the year coming up, duel against Western again. So we went up and raced them a couple weeks ago, and now back at it down here. So hopefully we can defend our home turf this weekend. So that's the goal. Our men's team's just looking better and better and better, and we've had some really solid workouts the last couple weeks. And I think that really we're going to need our 4, 5, 6, 7 guys to step up, and I think if they do, we got a really good shot to compete against Western. And if we're competing against Western, we're competing against any of the top 10 teams in the country. Then on our women's side, we had Kira obviously go out and win that last meet, which was really cool. But since then, our pack that's kind of been working a little bit behind her has really, really stepped up and had their the best workouts that they've ever had. And they've taken a good step forward these last couple weeks. And so Kendall's one of our main runners in that pack, and so I'm looking forward to them hopefully mixing it in with some of those top Western girls.
Kendall, you mentioned trying to mix in there. Seeing a teammate win a race and being a youngster with a redshirt freshman on spot, that kind of give you some motivation of I can catch her?
Yeah, obviously we have Kira up front, and she's a really strong motivator because we're always trying to kind of get on her level and work towards getting closer to her so that we can work better as a team. And just we have a nice big pack all working together, and we've been working towards Kira in workouts and then just working together to get better, and that is really helpful. It makes running super fun, and I think we're going to do great.
Tony, last year's only top team scorer, second overall, so kind of motivation to go out and win this race, your kind of final home cross country?
I mean, yeah, last year we had a different approach to it, so we kind of treated it more as a workout tempo kind of thing last year, so I'm excited to do a real race kind of at our home course, so looking forward to, winning it pretty much, and then just having our team win it, because this is the closest we've ever been as a team who can compete with Western. So yeah.
Coach, the meetings of your men last year, probably a little special for you, being named after your former coach. I'm sure you've learned a lot.
Yep. Yeah. So we have the meet named after Coach Gig Ledbetter, who's my coach here for a number of years, and he was able to make it out last year, which is really cool. I think this is a pretty busy time of year for him in the cidery business now and what he's doing in Boise, Idaho. So I don't think he's going to make it out this year unless he surprises me, which would be really cool. But yeah, it's an honor to have the race named after him, and hopefully we can go out there and make him proud this weekend, and pick up maybe a win on the men's side, which is our ultimate goal, and then really just have our women prove that we can be out there, prove to themselves that they can be out there running with some of the top girls in the country.
When it comes to endurance, sports out here, we always talk about elevation. Is there a huge difference between racing in a place like Wisconsin, which is really high up, and here, racing at home? Is there a difference?
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on where you're coming from. So Tony's from a little bit lower elevation, so it may be a little bit different from him. I grew up at really high elevation, so like when I went to Gunnison, it wasn't that big of a shock to me. But same with Kendall, she's out from Iowa, so pretty low elevation as well. I think in your second, third year, after you've done it before, it's not that big of a shock. But for our, freshmen that we had coming in this year that are from sea level, it was definitely a big shock to the system. But I think once you do it a couple times, you kind of get used to it and know what to expect at that point. Really, just the big difference. And we're at 4,600. It is a significant difference to go up to almost 8,000 feet. But I think once you know what to expect, it's we know that we're putting in the work, and I think just having that confidence that they've done it before, that going into that second year, you can go out and have success up there. And we've seen that with Tony the last couple of years. He's taken a really big step forward in competing up there, and he's been, second last year?
Oh yeah.
Second last year, and then third this year. And so and I think that he's shooting for hopefully picking up the belt buckle this weekend, which is that'll be our award for first place, is a cool little belt buckle. So
If you you guys as athletes, right? You're competing at home, right? This is the one chance you kind of get to race here. What does it mean for you guys to be racing at Lincoln Park?
It means a lot, obviously, because during cross country you only have a limited amount of races, so just being able to have one home meet is like huge for us, and to be able to have a crowd that we can actually hear, because we tend to, run away and then just have like really loud Western chants or other school chants, and it's just going to be really fun being home. So
yeah, and I'm also excited to have some friends and fans out there, which going far away, it's hard for people from school that I know to come cheer or stuff like that. And I know at least the girls are really excited to try and run some faster times. We've all run, all the redshirt sophomores and freshmen have run this course before, so we know what we're getting into, and we're excited to try and run fast.
Coach talked about you guys working as a pack, and how do you communicate? Is it more communication, just kind of feeding off each other? You're not going to be talking a whole lot when you're trying to run now.
Yeah, sometimes there's some verbal communication in the pack, but a lot of times it's nonverbal, and we practice running in a pack at workouts, so we all know that we're trying to stick together beforehand, so we're all just working off each other. If someone puts in a surge, we're all doing that surge with them, and we're just really all trying to push each other. It's a push and pull, and that's what we've been working on, so hopefully we'll be able to execute it during the race.
Focus on the one back of the head that you're trying to
Yeah, sometimes you just have to stare at someone's head and just latch on.
Yeah, and Tony, you're often up in a lead pack. So how do you try to work that and pace yourself to where you have that last kick?
For me, usually I just try to either be in that pack or be right behind that pack, just because for me I have a faster kick than most of the cross country kids, so as long as I'm just kind of in a range of where I can close in on them, then I'll feel comfortable in pretty much any cross country race, and feeling good as well. So.
Coach, can I ask you? You kind of mentioned 4, 5, and 6 runners. Is there? It's an ignorant question, but is it about ramping up? Is it about ramp up during the week? How do you make up minutes that you're looking for against Western?
Yeah, I think for our 4, 5, and 6 guys, we're a little bit younger on that end. This year on the guy side, it's really cool because Tony, this is probably the best year that he's had to work with a pack of runners. Where last year he was a pretty good amount out in front. And this year he's got Ethan and Tristan to work with, and then like he was going over, he's one of the best milers in the country, and so if he can kind of hang in there for the last little bit, he can go out and kick almost anybody. But we've got, outside of those 3, we've got kind of a younger group. Kevin Degree is one of those guys. He's a redshirt freshman this year, and so he's just kind of learning. Peter Martin, who had he's a junior, but he had kind of a tough last year, so he's just really picking back up into it this year. So it's kind of almost like his redshirt sophomore year. So those 2 guys are really our 4 and 5 right now, and I think they're just learning to be comfortable being up there and competing in that top pack. And so their workouts have gone a lot better these last couple weeks, and I think they've been able to kind of hold on to our lead group a little bit. And that's, our men, because we have those older guys, that pack work that we've been able to work on, they have a lot of really good nonverbal communication. Because like you said, it's hard to communicate when it's, you're running, as hard as you can. And on the women's side, I've been kind of working in training with them, and I can, verbalize my communication, but I'm trying to get them to start working on some nonverbal communication, that they're not relying on me being out there. And a lot of that is, hopefully they can kind of take notes on what our guys team is doing, because they've got that nonverbal communication down, and I guess sometimes verbal, maybe last minute. It's just, learning to communicate. It's a huge team sport. And I don't know. I think our 4-5, really our 6-7 too. We've got a couple other younger guys there as well, but just looking forward to them stepping up this weekend.
Iowa. So how has being up in elevation, how has it affected you? So whenever you go back to Iowa, is it easy to go?
I would say here, I don't feel like that much of a difference. Maybe when I first come, and then after the first couple weeks, you kind of get adjusted to it. So the second year has definitely been easier. Last year, my redshirt season, I was kind of just spending that time adjusting. But then at Western, I kind of feel it a little bit sometimes, but I think everyone kind of feels it. But definitely this second year, I've felt some more improvements just adjusting to the altitude over time. Yeah.
Anything else? Question of the week. Being fall now, what is your favorite fall season activity?
For me, it'd be Halloween, just because I kind of like the fact how everyone dresses up. Kind of is fun and funny to see people like get out of their shell a little.
Yep.
What's the costume?
Oh, geez.
For me,
He's always got a bunch.
yeah, I'm not sure.
An
Yeah,
astronaut.
yeah, maybe this year I'll be an astronaut or something.
Disco helmet.
Disco astronaut.
Yeah. Well, honestly, fall's my least favorite season, but I really like sweets, so doing things like getting candy on Halloween, I really like, and like going to the apple orchard and eating sweet food.
I guess for me, being a cross-country coach, it's kind of the beginning of championship season, so I love that aspect about it. Outside of cross-country, I'd love candy corn, which I know is a pretty controversial topic. I think you either love it or you hate it, so I love candy corn.